Greetings and welcome. I'm Toni, and this is Toni Knows. So you might be asking yourself, what exactly does Toni know? And here's the answer: nothing. Absolutely nothing. And it turns out that I know a lot. When I say I know nothing, I'm talking about the perspective from which I approach life. In Buddhism, it's called beginner's mind. That's much easier said than done. But what that means is that I approach this work/play as if for the first time each time. And what does that do? It makes every time that I sit down to record one of these missives nerve-wracking. And as someone who has been on the planet for a minute, it also helps me sidestep my tendency to foreclose possibility. When I think I know everything, I also probably think that I have nothing to learn. And that simply is never true. As long as I'm breathing, there is more to learn. There's a story from Buddhism about a student whose teacher refuses to teach him. Why? Because the student thinks he knows everything. The story, often referred to as the empty cup, is about this student who comes to a Zen master seeking wisdom. But what the master does is he pours tea into the student's cup well until after it's full, causing the tea to spill over onto the table. When the student exclaims that the cup is already full, the master calmly replies, "Just like this cup, your mind is too full of your own thoughts and beliefs. To learn and grow, you must first empty your cup." When something is overflowing, there is no room to pour another drop into it. I want there to always be space inside me to be filled with more goodness and more light. I'm inviting you to do the same, to take on a beginner's mind. Again, easier said than done. The other thing that I'm asking us to consider is the brilliance of the Black feminist, lesbian poet, and activist Audre Lorde, who famously wrote, quote, "The master's tools will never dismantle the master's house," end quote. And with that in mind, I invite us to consider how knowing might create walls or barriers to our discovery. And how might asking questions from a genuine state of curiosity, a more feminine approach to the world, serve to melt the walls and barriers? This is something that I'm feeling into, and invite you to come along with me on the journey of discovery. Before I sign off, I want to leave you with the words of the deep ecologist Joanna Macy, who writes, quote, "Not knowing rivets our attention on what is happening right now. This present moment is the only time we can act, and the only time, after all, we can wake up," end quote. I'll say that again. Not knowing rivets our attention on what is happening right now. This present moment is the only time we can act, and the only time, after all, we can wake up. Let me know in the comments how this is landing for you. I would love to know. Until next time, go well.